The greatest benefit you receive when you jump. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.
Helping you build freedom without losing your edge. This is the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels.
The greatest benefit you receive when you jump is another reflection that I just want to share with you in this very brief episode. And if you've ever been someone who's consistently driven by money, maybe because of the way that you grew up, or maybe it's the life that you've grown into, like money is your driver and money has been your driver, but you're starting to question whether or not that's been the right thing. Like, just invest a couple minutes with me. It's not going to take very long. But there's a reflection that I've just recently had that I think is important to share with you. And I was thinking about this not too long ago. It was basically beginning of November, which is it's not a holiday time. It's, holiday time is typically, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, if you're during spring break or Semana Santa where I live, or summertime, or maybe during the Christmas holiday season, right? These are the big holiday seasons, but I'm talking about the beginning of November. And I had this really deep reflection about what was important and what were, like, just how fortunate I am in where life is. And I also thought about Billy during my corporate days. And this is the thing that I want to share with you, because, and as a premise, once your basic needs are covered and you're considering, like, hey, listen, do I continue to do the role that I'm doing, or do I make a change? Well, first of all, I would say excel in your role and build something on the side. Like, you don't have to do one, but once you decide whatever it is that you're going to do, you're jumping into whatever the life and lifestyle that you want to do. Here's one of the greatest benefits that I want you to receive. Because I spent so much of my childhood and early days wanting to be able to be quote unquote rich, to be able to earn more money, be able to have and show that I was able to achieve the things that I wanted to achieve, because I was running from the things that I didn't want to relive, maybe things that I lived when I was small, or things that I saw, right? And so, but what I've realized, and this is one of the things that I am sharing with you in this episode, because a lot of times you say, well, what are the drawbacks? What are the risks? What are the benefits? Well, I'm just going to share what I believe is the greatest benefit once you make your jump. Because after years and years of corporate life, that really aided me, helped me to get to the point that I'm at today. Like, super grateful. And I know I've talked about it in a number of guests and things like that, but like, I'm very blessed for the corporate life that I had, right? It was one of the things that set me up for being able to live the life and the lifestyle that I have for myself and for my kids. It is just the thing that helped to set up, and also helped me to recognize a lot of very important transferable skills that I continue to use to this day. But the thing is along the way, I was really focused on money. And it wasn't until later in my corporate career where I realized that there are benefits that are much beyond that. Right. Many of them I've talked about before. I've shared lots of different stories about my life and things that helped me to change and crystallize and start to realize that life is about a lot more than just money. Money is something that is important. If you do not have your basic needs met, then you realize how important it is. But once you have your basic needs met, then it's about being able to grab this one benefit. And I will also say, I lived in an extremely privileged enterprise software tech bubble. Like, as you're listening, as you're nodding your head, you understand that the amazing salaries, the massive bonuses, the luxury sports cars that are paid for by the company, and the gas and the tolls and the insurance and all of these kinds of things, like, it got to a certain point. Like, I never looked at how much anything costed, right? How much does that cost? Don't know. Don't care. I want it. Boom. And as you're watching, as you're listening, as you're nodding your head, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the thing is all of that, what I didn't really think about at the time, because I was so driven and wanted to be able to get to the next level, and I wanted the next title, and I wanted the bigger team, and I wanted the biggest deals. All of those things come at a cost. And the thing is as you start to prepare for when you want to make your jump, there is a benefit that you are going to receive that goes well beyond money, well beyond money. And this is what I started to realize. It's about being able to be extremely intentional with the way that you use your time. There is no greater benefit from my point of view, there is absolutely no greater benefit than when you make the jump is that you are able to be extremely intentional about the way that you use your time. For instance, I talked about at the very beginning of the episode, in early November or the early part of November of this year, I decided, I was invited and decided to actually give a speech as a paid speaker. And so being able to do that and decide that I wanted to do it at that moment in time and do an international speaking engagement. Well, I could do that. Why? Because I'm very intentional about the way that I own my time. Before, in my previous life, in my corporate life, that's something that would have been almost impossible. I would have been able to do it maybe if I took vacation days, and those same vacation days I was going to have that would have been taken away that I was going to be able to use in the summer with family. And so it would have come at the cost of something else. So being very intentional of being able to do that, or even being able to say, hey, look, you know what? This summer, I'm going to invest five weeks, hang out with my kids, and we're going to travel around the world and not have to, at that point in time, deciding to say, look, I'm not going to take on any new clients during this period of time. I will serve my existing clients, but we'll take on no new clients. We'll get to that when we come back. Being very intentional about the way that I'm using and leveraging time. Always paying attention to and serving existing clients, but that's just another example. Saying, hey, look, for this next 5 weeks, the process is in place. The clients are there. The clients are being served. And I want to be able to invest, and I am going to invest this time with my kids, with my family, with my loved ones. And being able to do that and be very, very intentional with it. Now, at moments, is it really uneasy because I've spent so many years of my life in corporate and used to this constantly being on and constant productivity and all this kind of stuff? Well, of course. And as you go through that process, the same will happen for you. Maybe it happens to you in the beginning, but eventually you will realize that it is something that happens for you. And so I just want to help you understand that benefit is something that I'm realizing today. Investing time how I want. You will be able to invest the time how you want, and being able to pour into the relationships that are the most important to you is a benefit that no money can buy. Absolutely no money can buy. And you can do it in a way that you feel very good because you're intentional about pouring into the relationships. You're not worrying about client calls, escalations, things that happen many times in very, very large multinational companies. So that's the thing that I wanted to share with you, because I know you may be having some trepidation, having some concern, or maybe the focus was just on money. But remember, money, you can always make more. Time, you cannot. Everybody gets the same 168 a week. So be very intentional about it and think about that. I just wanted to share this with you. It is without a doubt for me, the greatest benefit that you can have or receive when you make the jump is being able to feel comfortable and okay with intentionally managing the time in the way that makes the most sense for you or for your family. So as I always like to ask, if this is you, listen to the episode again, think about a specific case, or, I'm always easy to find, like just leave your review or ask me to contact. We'll make so many different ways. I'm always happy to talk to you, talk about your specific situation. If we're not connected on LinkedIn already, make sure you're connected. Let me know. We'll connect there. But most importantly, share today's episode with somebody. Let them know that you care. Have the conversation with them. Go from theory to practice. And while you're doing that, I'll be right here preparing for the next episode. So go out and make it a great day. And thank you very, very much.